After an epic journey to the 3,281-meter Wuling Pass, I descend to aboriginal town called Sqoyaw Village around 1,900 meters. I walk into the hotel and I realize it was run by an aboriginal family. This was my first stay at an aboriginal accommodation in Taiwan, and the atmosphere was very special. I really loved the previous mountain villages, but I couldn't stay longer because they were always out of my budget. But this place was much cheaper and it was very good. Next morning, I asked if I could stay one more night, but they said I couldn't too because they need to go to the church and they only open the hotel 6 days a week. When I was in Tonga, they closed everything on church days, even the gas station. But even there, they kept the hotels open. I felt this was a very special experience. They let me have a late checkout at 1 p.m. When I was bringing my luggage down, I found a very kind note. I thought it would be a long downhill, but there were so many uphill sections as well. My chain had been jumping since my last climb, so I changed my plan to go to Taipei sooner rather than staying on the mountains. After getting the village dogs' warm greetings, I had a fun ride downhill. But it turns out to be a dead end when I saw the private gate. I had turned the wrong way at the junction since the private farm road was much better and there were no English signs. And yes, I was really bad at directions, although I traveled the world. I had spent too much time cycling back and forth. I wanted to descend as fast as possible since it was so cold. But I was still in the middle of the mountains and the fog was getting thicker. I didn't feel safe to keep going, so I checked the camp spot around. But due to the fog, I got scared to do wild camping and I decided to go down fast to the next town. Soon I realized that I was stuck in a scary situation. I was cycling in deep mountains in the night with the thickest fog I've ever seen before. The trees looked so creepy, which horrified me. It was worse than a nightmare, because at least if it was a nightmare, I could wake up. But this was not a nightmare and I couldn't escape. It was too dangerous to hitchhike because I couldn't see anything. The only way to escape was to keep going. When I saw the red light from far away, I nearly had a heart attack thinking there was a bushy fire. But when I got near, I realized it was just a light. Still, town was far to reach with my speed. With only the reflectors to guide me, I had to ride in the middle of the road. After 2 hours of being stuck in the fog, I found the camping site. I pushed my bicycle up to the top, but realized that the office was back down by the road. Also, there was some noise, so I decided to keep cycling down. I realized my headlamp was very helpful. When I saw the town lights, I was so relieved. Finally, I found a safe place. Once it got dark, it was difficult to find a camping spot. I used a Google Street Maps to look around and found a town hall. I set up tent after getting permission from police station next door, but I was still so panicked that I was scared to close my eyes to sleep. I worried that I would still be stuck in the fog forever in the dream. The next day, I saw beautiful sunshine. I couldn't believe that I had the worst scary horror the night before on this same beautiful planet, the Earth. There are many people enjoying this amazing weather. I got a picture with them and they bought a snack to have later on uphill. Yesterday, I couldn't enjoy downhill due to such a bad visibility. But today, I could finally have lots of fun with this beautiful landscape. Soon, the uphill started again, but I felt that my rear wheel was not in a good condition, so I stopped to adjust. After many mountains, I could see my bicycle was having a hard time. While having a snack on the hard uphill, I enjoyed looking at the lush jungle. In the beginning of my world tour, I really hated the mountains, but after a couple of continents, I finally learned how to enjoy them. Just enjoy every moment and look around the nature and have fun on downhill. I really wanted to go back to Taipei today, but with such a steep uphill section, I wouldn't make it. Luckily, I found a camping spot in the forest. This was the best camping spot I've ever found in Taiwan. Everyone has their own style to set up their campsite. This is how I set up my things. I put the sleeping pads first, and then sleeping bag, and organize the bag. That's all. Since I will be arriving in the town next day, I wanted to finish all my food. It was difficult to have fancy food during camping on my world tour. Often it just becomes, what the heck is this? Tonight I will make food with whatever I had again. I bought this canned food, which looked a bit weird. The smell was alright when I opened it, so I just mixed it with the pasta. While having the pasta, I cooked some more noodles. I really loved this camping spot as there was no noise from people and cars. I love owl sounds so much, they help me relax. Next morning, I woke up and looked around. I couldn't believe that I slept in this beautiful forest. I wanted to enjoy this fantastic nature rather than hurrying back to busy big city. I had the sunflower seeds for a snack and then oat bar with butter for breakfast and coffee for my good morning. I felt so relaxed that I was even fixing holes on my tent with a black tape. I enjoyed my morning so much in the forest that I started cycling a bit late, but I thought it would be an easy day with so much downhill. But soon I got a flat tire. I found a hole, but it didn't look normal. I didn't find any object on the tire. So I checked the rim, but nothing was sharp. I checked the tube and found a weird thing I've never seen before. I could see some trace of a folding. It seems due to high altitude, my inner tube got into trouble. I've cycled on a high mountain several times on my world tour, but this was the first time I had seen a folded tube. I decided to change my rear brake pad because it was too worn out to keep using, and I had so much downhill ahead. It was a bit complicated because I had to adjust several things. It was alright at the end, but I found something even worse. My rim had a crack. I was not sure where it happened. I didn't feel comfortable cycling anymore. I really wanted to get to Taipei as soon as possible to fix my bicycle. It needs a new rim, chain, crankset, cassette, and rear derailleur. But very soon again, I found another frustrating thing. There was a road construction and I had to wait until 4 p.m. I must get to Taipei today due to arrange accommodation, and I really didn't want to cycle in the dark in the mountains anymore. But I didn't have any choice. There was a cloud coming and I couldn't see the raindrops. After a long wait, thankfully they let me go. I passed the scooter and cars which were waiting at the opposite side. I didn't have any food or water since I left the camping spot, but I didn't have any time to stop at the restaurant. I just had a snack next to the road and hurried back to my bicycle. I got too hungry to keep going, but I couldn't find any quick snack. Thankfully, the local gave me sweet potatoes which cheered me up. I ate them in the saddle to save time. It was the best sweet potatoes I ever had in my life. The road was mixed uphill and downhill, so it took much longer than I expected. Unlike my worries, there are many lights on the road, so I was not that nervous to cycle. But it was quite hard to ride with the rain and wind. When I saw the city lights, I was so relaxed that I stopped worrying about darkness. I was in the mountains for a bit, so suddenly seeing all the civilization gave me mixing feelings. Anyway, I was happy that I arrived safely in Taipei. I just got a new plan. After fixing my bicycle, I will go to Hong Kong.